All right, Metalheads, this is DJ REM on Metal Devastation Radio, and I have John Taglieri live on air. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you?
Very well, very well. First of all, I want to thank you for taking time to call in for the interview, and very much appreciated.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, man.
So, why don't you introduce yourself and your spot in your band, and then also if you want to introduce any of the other members that play in the band as well.
Well, I'm actually solo. It's just me. It's me and all the voices in my head.
Sweet.
Yeah, I used to have a band, and honestly, I've always worked better just being solo. And with the way I travel and everything, it's worked out better for me that way. But my name is John Taglieri. I'm a solo singer-songwriter. I'm from New Jersey, but I'm based out of Massachusetts now. And I've got 12 records out, and I've been around the world, and I luckily wake up every day and get to make a living playing guitar and singing. So.
Well, that's very cool. Congrats, and best of luck in the future, and I hope everything continues to work out well for you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So how long, so you said you have 12 albums out. How long have you been doing this?
My first record came out in 1999, right? And then I've released pretty much every year, or at least every other year since then.
And then what got you into music and made you want to do something like this? What kind of influences did you have growing up, or even to this day, that have kept you going?
Well, it was funny because when I was a little kid, I was 5 years old, and my mom and dad decided I needed a hobby, and they sent me off for guitar lessons. And that's what started this whole thing. And then I learned a bunch of different instruments along the way, and I just always knew it was going to be what I was going to do. I don't work well with others, and in so much as I can't work in a day job where people who don't know what they're talking about are telling me what to do. So I was sort of always destined to be my own boss, and this is what I've been doing for a career for a long time now, and like I said, luckily I get to wake up every day and I'm my own boss, and I get to travel around the world and play music, and it's very gratifying. I was signed, and I walked away from it, and I started my own record label, and I've got my own record label, my own publishing company, my own recording studio. I don't mean like the little corner thing in the house. I mean, I've got like a full-on recording studio that I own, and it's been great, man. I've hit Billboard with 2 records, and I've had #1 singles on Amazon and top 10 records on iTunes, and it's been a very fortunate career for me.
Oh, very cool, and once again, congrats to that as well.
Thank you.
So what is tell the listeners and the people that'll hear this recording what's going on with you right now. What are you working on?
Well, I am currently, right now I'm supporting Days Like These, which is my new EP, and I came out about 2 months ago, and we've actually just about sold out the first one already, and it's been doing fantastic, and it debuted on the new artist chart of Billboard at number 29, and the independent chart of Billboard at number 112, so it started off great, and we're 6 weeks later, and we're still number 85 on the charts. We're doing, we're holding in really well, and so right now I'm in Key West, Florida, and I'm playing here for Fantasy Fest, and I'm supporting the record, and it's been fantastic. Great shows, great crowds, great response to the songs, moving a lot of CDs, and it's just been great. It's been really good.
Well, very cool. That definitely sounds very badass. Where can people go and buy this new album, this current album that's out right now, and all your previous stuff as well?
Anywhere you buy anywhere you get your downloads from. If you go to iTunes or Amazon or Rhapsody or wherever you get your normal downloads from, you can go buy the EP. It's on every digital download site around. You can also just go to my website, go to the merch page, and it's right there as well. For physical copies, if you really want a physical copy of it, just shoot me an email and we'll work it out. Mostly the physical copies have been selling at shows, and online has been digital downloads.
Are you, I'm assuming you're selling merchandise at the shows as well?
Yeah, I have T-shirts and CDs that I sell.
Okay, very cool. So, how has this been for you as a career? You said obviously you've been fortunate enough to do this for a living, make a career. How difficult has it been? Has there been a lot of ups and downs? Have things been pretty smooth?
Things have been fairly smooth, man. I'll be honest with you. I've always joked that I've never made a mistake in my life. I've had a lot of learning experiences, but I've never made a mistake. And that's how I like to look at things. Everything we go after, I set a goal list every year, and my manager Dave and I go after it. And some of them are lofty, and we've heard along the way, hey, does this guy know who he isn't? Because I like to go for things that maybe out of my league, but I'd rather hear the word no than not try. And it's the kind of thing for me where I don't have an off switch. This is my career. This is not. I wanted to get famous and then it's over. My goal is to make a living doing what I love for the rest of my life. So this is a never-ending goal until the day I'm no longer here. So the fact that I get to do this is a success in itself. You add to that running my own indie label, I'm charted on Billboard. I've had top 10 Amazon and #1 Amazon singles and top 10 best-selling iTunes stuff. And I've toured with and opened for everybody I've ever idolized in this business, and I've traveled the world, and I do a lot of shows for the military, and I've done some amazing things that I can be really proud of, and that as a performer and as an owner of my business, I can be really proud of it, and know that we did that without label help, and we did that without the normal system, outside of the normal system of music, and yeah, man, it's been really good. We really, honestly, have not had a lot of downs. I mean, our downs are the normal downs. I'll throw 10 things out and 5 come back and the other 5 didn't. Those aren't downs. We just didn't hit everything, but I don't expect to hit everything. So.
Okay, very good. Well, and I have to tell you, one of the things when Dave Tedder hit me up and asked if I wanted to do an interview with you, I love interviewing bands and artists that are independent. I very seldom ever talk to. I just don't get into with the people that are with big labels, because there is so much good music out there, and obviously better than anybody, you don't need a big label to do what you want to do and be successful at it.
No, you really don't. You don't. Anybody, and I say this very seriously, anybody looking to get signed today is an idiot. And I make no bones about that. Unless you're just looking to be a flash in the pants, famous kind of thing, which good luck with that, because that's nearly impossible anyway. If you're looking for longevity and you're looking for a career, a record label today is the last place you want to be. Because anything they can do for you, you can do for yourself without giving up 90% of your money.
Right, or ending up owing them.
Right, yep.
Definitely.
I have friends who were signed who were phenomenal musicians and put out great records that just didn't get the push, and they're now no longer signed and still owe the record company 6 figures. And what good did that do you?
Yeah, it made you broke is what it did.
Yeah, it made you broke, and it made you a band that can almost no longer be a band, because as long as you're that band, you owe the record label a lot of money.
Right. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, with this current album, the EP, you're calling it an EP, right?
Yeah.
So, Days Like These, where did you record this at?
Interesting. A lot of it was done in my studio at home. I have a really great studio called Dogpound Studios, and what we did for this was, I wanted to have some of my friends on the record, and I wanted to see if I could get some people I've never worked with, but that I idolize in this business, on the record. So I reached out to a bunch of different people, and they all happened to say yes. We wound up having parts for this record cut in 9 different studios around the country.
Nice.
And then everybody Dropboxed me their tracks, and I assembled everything in my studio and then did everything I do, which is, I play drums on 2 tracks, I play bass on almost the whole record. Of course, my vocals, lead and background, and I play guitars and everything, and one track I played some keyboards on. Everything else, we had Kenny Aronoff play drums on a track. We had Rich Redden from Jason Aldean and Ludacris and Kelly Clarkson play drums on a track. I've got Lee Turner from Darius Rucker's band playing keyboards on 4 songs, and Eric Raniel from Hits and Alice Cooper playing keyboards on 2 songs, and some of my really good friends from back in Jersey, Pennsylvania, and LA are playing on it, and everybody just did stuff in their own studios and sent them all to me. So it was a really cool kind of record because it was done everywhere, and thanks to the technology of today, we get on the phone, we talk through the song, they cut their tracks, send them to me, we tweak, they recut their tracks, send them to me, and we're done. And in the meantime, I get these unbelievable musicians on the record.
Right.
And we never had to even get together. We just did things in our own studios.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's got to be.
For me, like Kenny Aronoff has been my drum idol as a drummer. I've been playing drums since I'm 10. And to have Kenny play on the record, was amazing to me. The first time my phone rang when he called to go over the session, I had 20 seconds of 12-year-old girl in an insane concert moment.
Right.
It was like, holy crap, Kenny Aronoff is on my phone. And then okay, cool, pick up the phone, answer it like an adult.
Right.
But here I am on the phone talking to, the biggest idol of my life for drums. And he's telling me, he's asking me what I need, what can I do for you? And I'm like, dude, I don't know if you know who you are, but you're Kenny Aronoff. I'm not telling you anything. And I could sit back and we put together a really good team of writers and musicians for the record. The whole record was co-written except for one song, and it was all done over Skype with good friends of mine. And then we put together a great team of musicians, and of course Dave, and then my social media guy, and my web guy, and everything. The team is just fantastic, and the record's doing well, and I can't complain about that.
Yeah, very cool. So, where can people find out more about you? What social networking and websites do you use?
Well, of course, there's JohnTaglieri.com. And let me spell that for you because most people can't spell it. It's JohnTaglieri, JohnTaglieri.com. Or you can go to Facebook /John Taglieri Music, Twitter /John Taglieri. If you go to YouTube, just search me, you'll find everything I do. Pretty much any social network that's being used today, if you put my name in there, you'll find me. Or just Google me, which I hate saying that. Because it sounds, and pardon the term, it sounds so douchey to go, hey, Google me. But if you just pick my name in Google, you'll find pretty much anything you need to know.
Hey, you know what? That's not douchey. That's just giving people the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Very good.
So,
Okay, so if I grabbed your iPod or MP3 player, however you listen to music, what bands would I find you listening to right now?
right now you would find Alter Bridge, you would find 6 a.m., you would find, let's see, who else have I been listening to a lot lately? You would find Dallas Smith. And I don't know, a lot of people don't know Dallas Smith is the singer for Default, but besides Default, which I love, Dallas also put out a solo record. Yeah, a lot in that vein. So right now I've been listening to a lot of rock lately. So.
Okay, very cool. So when you're not out doing what you do,
A Work of Art, by the way. I just downloaded the new Work of Art CD.
Oh, okay, cool.
Fantastic. So.
Speaking of, see, that's going to sidetrack my question. Speaking of art, who put together the album cover for the EP? Because it's very cool.
That would be my art guy, Joe Duhamel. And he's been with me for about 5 records now. And I just love his work. He does all of my CD art and all of my flyers and promo cards and everything else when I hand out a gig. And he's just, he works with, he does the Grammy Awards pamphlet that gets given out at the Grammy Awards. He does all the NASCAR stuff that you see at NASCAR events all year. He's just an amazing, amazing artist.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I love that a lot of artists and bands have kind of came back around to where they're actually putting some time and effort into actually making real album work again and not just a picture of themselves on the cover, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, and I've always done that. I've always prided myself. If you look back through my 12 releases, I don't know that I'm on, there's no prominent picture of me on the cover. It's all cool concept stuff that went with the record. Like now, the CD Now was a picture of an alarm clock on a table, and instead of time, it just said now in the digital numbers. Wide Awake and Dreaming, we did the entire insert. I went all out and did a 12-page insert, and the cover had me walking into my dream world of cartoons, and then I had an animator do the entire insert as a cartoon.
Nice.
And then on the back cover was me looking at my cartoon self in the mirror. I always try to be off the beaten path in my work. I never want to be that, and I hate to generalize it, but all the country guys put their faces on the cover and that's the end of it.
Yep.
You know, I never want to be that guy. I always try to come out with some good, cool artwork.
Well, very good. Well, I know I for one, as a fan, when I looked at that, I was like, this is very cool. So good job. Thank you.
Thank you. We went with whimsical. Like, I was thinking Beatles almost. Like, I was thinking Yellow Submarine when we did the cover for Days Like These. I wanted something whimsical like Days Like These, and we came up with a balloon and the sun and that sort of paper mache kind of thing. I thought it was really cool.
So how does that work for you when you're working with an artist to design your cover? Do you just kind of give him what your ideas you're thinking? Do you give him the music to listen to and let him come up with his own creative idea? How does that work?
That's exactly what I do. I'll give him the tracks so he gets a feel for what the music's about. And then Joe and I have been working together long enough where he just sort of has a feel for what I'm about. And he'll come back to me with like 3 or 4 options to start with. And then from there, I'll phone in on one of them generally. And we'll take that one and refine it and do 2 or 3 revisions. And it's usually all it takes because, like I said, we've been working together long enough where he knows, you know, I can sort of describe my vision to him and he finds it. So I love working with him.
Okay, very good. So when you're not on the road and out there playing music for a living like you do, what do you like to do to relax? You got any crazy hobbies or anything you like to do?
I'm a movie buff. So I actually put a movie theater in my house, and when I'm off the road, I'm at the gym. I'm becoming a personal trainer, so I'm in the gym all the time. But when I'm home, I'm in my theater watching movie after movie. I'm a huge movie buff from the old classics. And I don't mean like 80s. I'm talking 50s. I grew up on old James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, kind of movies. And when I say a movie theater, I mean 82-inch 7.1 surround sound. I have an arcade and a full concession system.
Nice.
Theater, like I have a concession stand in my theater. I'm either at the gym watching movies, or I just became a dad, so I'm hanging out with my wife and my baby.
Well, congratulations, Dad.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, she'll be 6 months old next week.
That's awesome. Life changer there, hey?
Oh, completely. But not at the same time because I'm still on the road.
Right.
So it's a. They said to me, "Oh, just wait, your whole work's gonna change." I'm like, "Oh, come on!" As soon as I held her up, I was like, "Yeah, it did. I'm done." And then, but life is life. This is how I make my living. So
right.
I'm still on the road, and I'm still doing what I do, and she'll be raised in an environment where this is what we do.
And the beauty with technology these days, I mean, you can FaceTime and Skype and whatever,
Right.
and you can see her anytime you want. So.
And I see her on FaceTime every day, and I'll talk to her, and she'll laugh with me, and we just have a great time on FaceTime together. It's funny, and she still recognizes me and gets it, and then when I get home, it's not like who's a stranger, because she still sees and hears me every day.
Yep, that's awesome.
My wife and I, we've been together 11 years. For us, I joke that we've been on an 11-year first date, because when you first start dating somebody and it's like, oh my god, well, before that wears off, I leave, and then before me being gone gets too old, I'm back. So it's been a really good balance of we get to be each other, we get to be ourselves, and then we get to be a really great us when I get home, which I think is cool. As a musician, that my wife gets.
Yes, that's for many people that's a tough thing. So it's good that you guys you're on the same page with that.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
So what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you when you've done a live show? And when I say crazy, I'm not necessarily asking for something bad, just something really cool.
Oh God, just come to Fantasy Fest. There's not much crazier than you can have here. I mean, I'm at a fest that's 7 days long of those naked people. and there's 100,000 of them here in town. You can't imagine I can't even begin to explain the last 5 years of things I've seen out here. It's unbelievable, and it's awesome at the same time. It's pretty much anything goes all the time. As my career, I mean, I've gotten to, toured with Ed McCain and the Gin Blossoms, and I've played with Charlie Daniels and the Beach Boys. That was kind of cool. I opened for the Beach Boys at a big festival, and that was kind of awesome. And it's just I've gotten to do a ton of amazing things. That Giant Stadium, I sang a bunch of times at Giant Stadium. One of them was Giant Shit Stadium in front of 80,000 people with my mom and dad sitting in the skybox. Doesn't get much easier. Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, you had a proud mom and dad right there.
Oh, completely. Yeah, when I brought them there, and they're sitting in the skybox watching me sing the national anthem for 80,000 people. It's like it's hard to argue. It's okay. Well, I guess he's on the right path.
Exactly.
It was funny because when I left my job, I said to them, I'm like, you guys can't say a word because you're the ones who sent me to guitar lessons. You started this.
That's right. Well, props to mom and dad for getting everything going for you, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you want to make sure the listeners and the fans know about you?
Oh, man, just, find me online, say hi. I answer, my Facebook is me, my Twitter is me. If you email me, I email you back. I'm very much, very involved in my day-to-day web work. So, yeah, find me online, go check out the CD, and, I hope everybody enjoys it.
Definitely, and I can attest for everybody out there that if you message him and hit him up, he will respond because it only took like 10 minutes and he was talking to me, so. Okay. Before I forget, I do want to give a big shout out and thank you to Dave Tedder for hooking us up. And he is awesome, and he just constantly is sending me killer bands and artists, so thank you to him. And then, of course, very much thanks to you for taking the time to call in. I know you're kind of like in between shows right now, so I really appreciate that your downtime right now, you took it to call in and talk to me, so thank you very much.
Oh, dude, my pleasure completely. Thanks for having me. And yeah, huge shout out to Dave. Dave's been with me since 2001. And there's in a business where there's a lot of people who talk the talk but can't walk the walk. I trust Dave with my career, and that's just there's not a better person you're going to find to work with in this business than Dave Tedder.
Yeah, that's awesome because there's not very many people out there you can say that about like that. So
yeah, and thank you for having me because it's awesome that you give independents like me, a voice in this business. So thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. That's pretty much all I play on my show. I mean, I throw some big bands in there when people request, but for the most part, it's independent artists all the way. And that's most of the DJs here at the Metal Devastation Radio. That's what we play. So that's kind of what we're about. Just so you know, I do have, when we go off air here, I do have 3 tracks. I have Days Like These, When I Think About, and Beautiful Tonight all lined up to play on my show.
Very nice. That's awesome.
So give you a blast.
Things Like These has Kenny Aronoff on drums. Rich Redmond played on Beautiful Tonight. So yeah, that's some heavy hitters on this record, on those songs.
Yeah, that's badass. Very cool. Okay, well, thanks again for taking the time to call in, and we'll talk to you again sometime.
Thank you so much.
Okay, take care, man.
Bye.
Yep, bye.